Hi guys, Geoff Ballard here. I wanted to go through some of the stuff that I've learned about this bike. You may have seen something already from Ben Grabben's been testing it, and I've been testing it for a company called Suspension Smith in Canberra. It's a real clever guy named Lawrence, and he's been working on this project for about 3 years. There's been similar, I guess, versions of that sort of linkage, I guess, design, but this one is a bit different. In fact, this is the second one that I've tried. The original one had to cut the frame, and it was very awesome. I mean, we loved it, but obviously, as a sale point of view, it was limited. I got most excited in the project when I rode that one, and it was absolutely amazing, and still is. We've compared it to this one as well. So anyway, it's really different, you know. I've ridden a lot of bikes and tested for different companies over the time, and I've never been as impressed with a single product like this thing can do. It's really something. The fork sits on a steeper angle than normal, and I don't understand a lot of the technical stuff, so Laurie tells me a bit here and there, but basically it gives it a different trail, and as it goes through its movement, the fork starts a little bit steeper, and you would think that would take away stability, but it seems to be the opposite. It's because of the trail set up on it. It also is one reason that Laurie says is why it steers so incredibly well. The bike's, it's crazy to ride. It's like, it gets so much traction on the front wheel. Ruts feel like they're wider. The wetter it gets, I've tried it in probably 3 or 4 different types of terrain and conditions, you know, from pretty wet. The wetter and more technical it is, the better it is. So the fork actually has a linkage up the top here, which you can kind of see, especially if I move it through its stroke. So I'll do that. Okay, so there's, I think it's 270 mil. They've shortened the travel a little bit on the fork. Maybe it's less than that, but ultimately I think all up it's 330 millimeters of travel, so it's got actually more than standard. So there's about, I think it's 60 mil of travel in this linkage, but that linkage allows the fork to go through a different trail. So it also allows it to be exceptionally good in small bumps, and handle massive pits, you know, like landing off jumps is one thing, but, you know, breaking into the gnarliest holes and things I've been riding a lot on a familiar track, and we kind of know our limits, you know, for me anyway, and push it as hard as I can, and I'm used to it, and you just go, wow, that was like nothing. So you push it harder and harder. So it's, it gets the best of both worlds, or even three worlds, let's say. It gets the best of a small bump, because you're not compromising, you've got 2 different systems to work with. Then it handles the massive bumps. I think it handles the massive bumps really well because it's got a dual system, but also because of as it goes through its stroke, it's becoming stable in the middle of a bump through the trail changing. Something like that, you know, that's the way I understand it. As I said, I'm not a techo guy, but I like to, you know, you hear lots of things about it. If somebody's designed something, and I just feel like, say, give me the bike, I just want to ride it. And sometimes you don't notice very much at all, or, you know, you go, no, they're leading us up the garden path. But for this, it does work. It's really something. It's made me think a lot about, you know, maybe the conventional system. Doesn't matter if it's upside down or conventional fork. It just goes through its normal arc, you know, and it's a bit soft, so you make it harder, then it's, you know, it bottoms a bit, so you make it harder, it's a bit harsher in the smaller bumps, and it's hard to get away from that. But as I said, this thing seems to have this great advantage of changing the trail as it goes through there. So it's going to be interesting, you know, it's going to be a really interesting thing, and to see where it ends up. But I'm really surprised, or will be really surprised, if it doesn't sort of make it into mainstream. So that's how impressed I am with it. I think it's a great thing. I'm getting a chance to race it here and there. I'm going to race the Transmoto, the 8-hour with it, and I'm excited. It's a great project, and I think the guy's a bit of a genius. So anyway, we'll see how we go, but I just wanted to explain a few of the things, how it works. The fork that it's using or showing is a bit limited, so you know, turning it's from sort of half underneath, and it looks like it's using a lot of the travel. You've got to always remember it's got a secondary movement up the top here, so it's yeah, it's something else. It's keep an eye out for it, but yeah, it's an exciting project. I really love it.